Hey guys, it's the Adirondack Stacker. Today we're going to be talking about Newmont Gold. Newmont's the biggest miner of gold in the world by far. They recently bought out the biggest Australian gold miner in the world in the biggest deal in the gold mining space in history. And I think that right now they are one of the biggest opportunities in the stock market. A stock market which is, in my opinion, a huge bubble. Most of the stocks in the stock market right now, I think anyway, are at overly inflated prices. So it's unique to find this situation where we have a commodity-based stock selling at historical lows while that commodity is at historical highs. So we have gold breaking records at highs and the biggest miner in the world selling for dirt cheap. Um, they have this new plan, right? This is just recently announced a going forward portfolio, which makes a whole lot of sense. The biggest parts of the plan are to consolidate their mines and only deal with tier one mines. Tier one mines are if you don't know, are the largest mines in the world. They're classified over a certain amount of ounces as being the most productive gold mines in the world. So they're only dealing with the best. And they're going to have, well, they already do have 10 tier one assets. A few of them are tier two that are going to be turned into tier one, but that's more than half of the tier one gold mines in the world. And this puts them at a 30% larger gold reserve and resource than their next rival mine or miner, or peer, which is Barrick. So there's 30% higher, bigger gold reserves than any other gold miner in the world. The next part of their plan is to just deal in the safest, most proven areas to mine gold, which are, according to investors, the US, Canada, and Australia. And the third part of this is to pick up a whole bunch of more copper, which they definitely did that with the Newcrest deal. They have now 150,000 tons of copper, which is 40% bigger than Barrick's reserves in copper. A lot of these big miners are moving not away from gold, but more into copper while still mining a ton of gold. I think a lot of people believe that copper is going to be a lot more valuable in the future. So it's an interesting play from these bigger gold miners like Newmont and Barrick. So we have the idea of just exclusively tier one assets, which is really interesting. I've heard, and a great idea in my opinion, I've heard other billionaire investors like Rick Rule talking about how they like Newmont, and this was in the past, but they had too many tier two assets and they didn't understand why they were dealing with them. Well, now they're not. It's going to be tier one. And they'll be able to mine 6 to 7 million ounces of gold a year for decades to come. Tom Palmer, their CEO, says that their stock is at a generational low and it's a generational buying opportunity. And I agree, frankly. They're bringing their all-in sustaining costs down to $1,150 within the next 2 to 3 years. So their all-in cost of 1 ounce of gold, for those of you that don't know the jargon, AISC, right? All-in sustaining cost, that's what that means. So if we have gold above $2,000, which we've had pretty consistently for a while, meanwhile, they're mining 6 to 7 million ounces of it at almost 100% profit. Or if we have $2,300 gold, that literally is 100% profit. you can do the numbers if you want to, but that's a lot of money these guys are going to be making. And with that money, they have a plan on what they want to do with all this money, including the 6 mines that they're selling off. So remember I said they're exclusively tier 1, that's the plan going forward. Well, they're selling off 6 mines that are tier 2 and can't be turned into tier 1 in the future. And with that money, they're going to fix their balance sheet up a little bit. They have $9 billion in debt. They're going to pay off $1 billion of that and get down to $7 billion. They want to have a cash balance of $3 billion and general liquidity of $7 billion. So anything after that, anything that they get from selling off those 6 mines and the money that they're making just from their operational mines that they have going now, any excess money is going to go back into buying shares. Their board just approved a $1 billion share buyback deal about 2 weeks ago. So on top of that, this $1 billion share buyback plan, that's already that's what's happening no matter what. Not on top of whatever excess money that they have. On top of that, they have a pretty healthy dividend that they're offering of $1 annually per share, which is 25 cents a share a quarter. So that's a pretty good deal, especially for such a established, well-known company in the gold mining space. Gold miners historically haven't had the best dividends, although nowadays we're starting to see that more. A few companies starting to be able to bump up their dividends just because they're so profitable. Why not? So usually they kind of pick one or the other, share buyback or dividends. These guys are going with both. Yesterday, I picked up about $4,200 worth of Newmont, which to some people that's not a lot of money. To me, it's a decent chunk of change. I'm not a millionaire, and my price average is at $34.34, which is nice and low in my opinion. If you look at this chart of Newmont, $34 is a nice entry point. We're looking at what this company costs back in the crash of 2020, the COVID crash in March, which just makes no rational sense at all. They're highly profitable, and moving forward, I think they're doing exactly what they need to be doing to grow their company and grow the investments of their shareholders. So it's about 22% of my portfolio now, and I'd like to get it to about 30 or 35% depending on the price action. If the prices go crazy and I'm way away from my average, I'm probably not going to buy too much more, right? I'll buy here and there, but not huge chunks of it. If it drops anymore, I'm buying. If it stays where it is, I'm just going to consistently keep buying. So that's my plan going forward with Newmont. Keep in mind that I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who buys commodity-based stocks like gold stocks. And I think Newmont has a big, bright future in the years to come. I think inevitably we're going to see a new commodity bull market start to roar. And when that happens, companies like Newmont are going to benefit in a huge way. So, check them out for yourselves, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on Newmont Gold. And have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.